Hello, everybody, and welcome to another episode of Cracking Fitness. Today's guest is Alyssa Ritchey. She is an absolute Olympic lifting superstar. When I say superstar, I'm serious. She absolutely crushed the Pan Am Championship. She set an American record, a Pan American record. And then as far as body weight percentage compared to how much weight she's lifting, she lifted more than any other Olympic lifting American in history. So she's a tiny powerhouse. She's under 5 feet. I think she weighs like 110 pounds. But go to YouTube and watch these lifts. They will amaze you even if you don't know what you're watching. Just so much power comes out of this person. So much fun. And then the episode gets kind of deep into mindset, nutrition, her training, and I guess going back to mindset, absolutely incredible mindset. So much fun to talk with her and just see the way that her mind works. The Olympics is her goal. She will be an Olympian. And when I say that, you'll listen to the episode and you'll just hear it in her voice. She knows that she's going to go to the Olympics, and she will do whatever it takes to make that happen. She'll follow her nutrition plan. She'll follow her dietitian. She'll do what her coach says. She'll follow her training plan, and she's going to make it happen. I had such a great time speaking with her today. I really appreciate her coming on the episode and sharing some of her wisdom and experience. If you guys enjoyed today's episode, which you probably will, please hop over to iTunes or Spotify or wherever you're listening to this and give us a positive review. Thank you for listening and have a great day.
Bringing health, wellness, and fitness ideas right to your speakers with your host, Tyler Martin, learning from experts and average Joes alike. This is the Cracking Fitness Podcast.
Okay, so the record button has been hit. We were just talking about your very first Instagram photo. So a new haircut, and you had just gotten onto Instagram, and now it's the cool thing. Everyone has Instagram.
Yeah, everyone has Instagram. Instagram is very Instagram.
Yes,
it's interesting.
I like that. That was a good play on there. So you're Alyssa Ritchey. That's how you pronounce it, right?
Yep.
Okay, and you're like I said before, I'm not trying to flatter you, but you're kind of a big deal. Like world champion, Pan Am queen.
Yeah.
It's pretty awesome stuff. Can you tell us a little bit about yourself?
Yeah. So my name's Alyssa Ritchey. I am currently right now in Ohio. I just started weightlifting about 2.5 years ago. Solely. I was CrossFit before that for about 3.5, 4 years. Made it to regionals each time. Missed the games in 2014 by like a no rep. So that was pretty crazy.
Oh, no.
Yeah. Yep. So athletics has been a part of my life for, since I was 9 years old. And I never thought I would be where I am in weightlifting. I never thought I would be a weightlifter. Had you told me that when I was 10 or 15, I would have been like, yeah, right. No.
Yeah.
So yeah, I'm on Team USA for weightlifting now. I've made, 3 Pan Am teams, 2 world teams, and I was a national champion. And now I'm your Pan Am 2019 champion, which is so surreal to me still.
Yeah, that's amazing.
Yeah, and it's like not by like a little, it's by a lot. So that's even the cooler part. It's not like it's by like a kilo, it's by like 6 kilos.
That's amazing.
Yeah, it's like by 12 pounds. That's a lot of freaking weight.
Yeah. So, I mean, this is normally a question that, guys reserve and don't ask. But in this case, you're world champion. So what weight class are you in? How much do you weigh?
I'm a 49 kilo. I'm in the 49 kilo weight class competing, but I do not sit at that weight all the time. I usually, when my training volume's super high and everything's crazy, I'm usually sitting around 53.5 to 54 kilos.
Okay. So for people in Idaho or around the United States that don't follow the kilos, how much weight is that? You're like, I don't know.
I have no idea.
I guess 53
I think
times
it's around
2.2,
119.
right?
So you just take 52 times 2.2. So it's a 119 basically.
And so what was your snatch in that competition?
I hit 83 kilos for my last lift, which is 183 pounds.
That's incredible.
Yeah, it's incredible. It was my best. It was my best snatch in practice off the blocks, which means like it's a position above the knee, was 85 kilos. And then my best snatch ever on the ground, which is usually how we compete, is where the barbell starts when we compete, is on the ground. So that lift was 84 on the ground. And
Wow.
so 83 for me at body weight of 49, because like I just said, I can like sit at 53, 5. So when I'm a 49 and I'm hitting the same weight as a 50,
oh yeah,
I mean, that's incredible.
that is cool. And so what was your clean and jerk in that competition?
My clean and jerk was historic. It was 200. I thought I did the wrong numbers because it was so high, but it's 235, like 0.4 pounds. So right, 235. And then my body weight is like 108 in pounds. So that's 20 pounds over double body weight clean and jerk. And that is to this day, for the history of the sport, it is the most % body weight ever lifted for an American, woman or man.
That is so cool.
Yeah, it is like unreal. Like I want that in print.
Yeah, it should be in print. And I hear that your coach is going to buy you a Tesla because of it.
Yeah. So not yet. We have to hit, let's see, which is not far away. Some girls are like 30 kilos away from the world record.
Okay.
I am like 20 pounds away from it.
Wow.
So we're talking like the difference. Some girls are like 60 pounds. I'm only 20 pounds.
Yeah.
So I believe that if you would have put 110 on the bar last week for Pan Ams, I would have hit it.
Yeah.
I fully felt 107 was like easy. Like it was a very good lift.
That is just incredible. So people that are listening that don't know weightlifting or Olympic weightlifting, so you do the clean and jerk and the snatch, which are 2 lifts.
Yep.
And I weigh 200 pounds, and my lifts are the same as yours.
Sure.
So,
yeah.
So like,
I'm also like very high up in the country for.
Yes. Yeah. So I mean, just like letting listeners know, you're incredible. Like doesn't even I don't even think that word describes it. So that's cool. So
it's a lot of hard work.
Yeah, which is really what I want to get into on this podcast, is talking about the hard work and what you do.
Sure.
So on this podcast, we bring like experts, highly advanced athletes, doctors, and average Joes, and we just try to kind of break it down, like what is fitness, what is health, and what do you do that maybe I can learn from or listeners can learn from, and just try to add to our routine. So something that I think that you guys, and I put you in your own category, you guys do that I personally am not very good at, is just have a foundation. I feel like my diet's all over the place, and I feel like my training can sometimes be all over the place. And so I kind of wanted to talk about your basics and your foundation. So let's start with nutrition. What do you do?
I follow a nutrition company called Renaissance Periodization. I followed them for 2.5 years, and I've learned so much from them. And I have also had so much success with them. My first year with the diet, it was kind of a struggle, but I was also a 48 kilo weightlifter before the weight classes changed. So that was pretty, I was pretty low in calories. Then after the weight classes changed and it went up 1 kilo for my weight class to 49 kilos, I decided to like change my diet and change all my calories going increasing everything.
Yeah.
So I ended up increasing a lot, and I felt like a happier human being,
Yeah.
and I felt like I could survive versus almost die every week.
Yeah.
It's funny now because like it's funny now, but when I was going through it, it was like torture.
Yeah.
I was like on 1100 calories versus now I'm like on 1700, and 1100 calories for a human being is not enough, especially at my work capacity. The amount of weight and training that I do, that's like a bird. That's like eating like a bird.
Yeah.
So, yeah. So anyway, so my diet consists of now it's about 103 grams of carbs, or sorry, 103 grams of protein,
Yeah.
around 8 cups of vegetables a day, and 120 to 140 grams of carbs a day, and then anywheres from 45 grams of fat to 60 grams of fat. And then basically what happens is if I train harder, I get more carbs. If I train uh, less hours or whatever, I get less carbs. And then if I'm just like not training, if I'm on a rest day, I get more fats and way less carbs. Like the carbs go in half, the fats increase to like 60.
Okay. So on your training days, you get more carbohydrates and then the fat stays the same, but on non-training days, higher fat. So you're still hitting your calories. It's just
I mean, it's still hitting the amount of calories. It's just like carbohydrates, fat lasts longer and it feels better. So it just, I mean, when it lasts longer, it feels better, as in like it takes longer for a fat to be digested. So it's a lot better on a non-training day.
Yeah. So you started with Renaissance Periodization then around the same time you started Olympic weightlifting. Is that right?
Yeah, I just basically started weightlifting, and then I knew I had to make a brutal cut to 48.
Yeah.
So I had to cut from 55 kilos to 48 kilos.
Oh, wow.
It's about 17 pounds, I believe, in 9 weeks.
Holy cow.
And, in my little frame.
Yeah, Instagram stalking you. I don't know. I mean, you don't look like you would have 17 pounds to lose, so.
No, I mean, I don't. I think a lot, like you're talking like when I'm cutting weight, I'm losing at least 4 to 5 pounds of water.
Yeah.
Because that lasts, like if you go on to my YouTube page, I just posted my weight cut from Pan Am's. And if you really want to see like what the last 4 hours are leading up to my competition or my final weigh-in, you can see how much water I lose. Like I'm constantly in the sauna, constantly spitting to like lose water and to make sure constantly peeing, to lose that. Like, I think I wake up 3 pounds over.
Yeah.
So it's definitely water. Most of it is when I'm cutting.
So you're super dialed.
Oh, super dialed in. I mean, I have to be. There's just no room for air when you're at this top.
Yeah.
Like you cannot have air. If you have air, that means there's room for someone to beat you or take your spot from making the Olympic team. And that's just not going to happen.
That's awesome.
Like at all.
So even if we as lay people could do 80% of what you're doing, we'd probably be in a healthy bracket.
Anybody could do what I'm doing. They just have to have the mental capacity and they have to have the tools and the resources. But most of all, they have to want to do it.
Yeah.
And they have to believe they can do it. The problem is like people want it, but they don't want to put in the effort to do it. That's the problem. It's not that you don't have the talent or you don't have the ability. It's that you don't truly want to do it. If I told somebody that they would hit my total at what I hit at Pan Am's, if I told them they were going to win 3 gold medals or make an Olympic spot, like let's say I make it the Olympic spot and let's say I go to the Olympics next year. If I told someone that they were guaranteed that Olympic spot, but they had to put all the work in to get there, they would do it because they know that they're guaranteed a spot. They just got to put the work in. Now, if I told them they weren't guaranteed a spot, or they might miss it, then they probably aren't going to put the work in because you know what? Today I'm tired. I don't want to get up. I don't feel like eating broccoli. I don't want to cut weight. You know what? This is too hard. I don't like pushing my body at this like crazy. I don't like pushing my body this hard. But you know what? Like every day that I show up to the gym, it's not about what I want. It's about what I have to do. I have to put the work in. I have to do the weight cut. I have no choice. If I didn't want to do this stuff, I wouldn't be in the sport.
Yeah. I love to hear that. Just that mental strength.
Sure.
What have you done to develop that mental strength? Because one, I mean, I guess just to continue on to that question a little bit, I love when we first started talking and you're like, oh yeah, I rocked Pan Ams. I mean, you didn't say exactly like this, but like, I'm awesome. I did great. So you're confident, and obviously now I'm stuttering on my words because I'm all excited. You just have a mental capacity that is pretty incredible. So how have you developed that?
I think I was, kind of like, I think a little bit I think a little bit is I had, it's a really good question. How did I develop my mental capacity? I think it first started in gymnastics when my gymnastics coach was excruciatingly mean to us. But at the moment, if you would have asked me as a child, 9 to 12 years old, or actually I was only with her for like a year and a half. So if you would ask me as an 11-year-old little or 10-year-old little girl, like who she is and do I like her and stuff, I would have been like, no.
No way.
No, I wouldn't have said no to you because she was mean. But if you ask me now, looking back at it, I would say she grew me into a very mentally strong athlete and physically. The stuff she put us through, just like some silly stuff. If we got first even, she wouldn't let us celebrate. She would make us work harder.
Yeah.
If we did something wrong, there would be like a penalty of like 1,000 push-ups. And I'm not even exaggerating with you. Like if we cried in practice, we'd have to get sent to the locker room and sit and we don't practice.
Yeah.
If we fell off the beam, we would have like 1,000,000 push-ups or sit-ups, or where you have to condition like whole practice instead. So it's just like, it's really like grueling stuff that like you would never think, like as a parent looking in, you would look at that and be like, oh my God, my poor child, like, but at the end of the day, like there's so many more worse things going on in the world. Like there's kids that don't get to eat. There's kids that are literally getting beat by their parents. There's kids that don't have parents. So like at the end of the day, like, yeah, it was probably a little too much as a little girl. She probably could have been a little nicer, but I think it like helped me in the long run. I don't think it scarred me. I think it like made me stronger because I'm not and I think that's why I'm struggling answering this question too, like when I kind of pause there, because I think a lot of my mental drive mindset comes from both my mom and dad. I definitely think you were born with, you were born with attributes of your parents, right? You're made up of genes and things that your parents have. So I think a lot of that comes from my mom and dad. I ended up getting like the best qualities from them both, I think. But I think also like another thing comes to where when I started weightlifting to get better at track and field in high school, I would do it like once a day for like 3 months leading up to track just to get like more powerful, more explosive, all that stuff. But he told me that I was a very strong, gifted athlete. And that's when my mind was like, I'm strong? Really? Like me? And I always like knew I was talented. Like I always was like the best. Like I was a freaking good gymnast. Like I'm not going to be humble about that because I just think that was one of like my greatest memories of my childhood. I was an awesome gymnast. I could tell you if I would have stayed in, I probably would be going to I probably would have been like doing the Olympics around the time like Shawn Johnson was doing it, or so those girls. But like you don't know, but I could tell you that I probably would have been going to getting a spot, trying out for a spot at
Yeah.
the Olympics on the gymnastics team. I was very good. I was just very powerful, very explosive. I caught on fast. Like, you could literally show me a movement and I would have it by like next practice. So like 3 days later or 2 days later. And my coach would be like, how?
Yeah.
But it's just because, you know why? Because I would tear the cushions off the couch and I would practice for hours. I would stand on the sideline of the floor exercise when everybody was waiting in line. I wouldn't wait in line. I would stand on the sideline and try the movement a million times until I got so tired of falling on my head, I would stop. Like I would trying and keep trying. So it wasn't the fact that I was just born with this mindset. I just never gave up as a kid even. I would always try harder and always make a point to know for myself that I am capable, I am able, I can do anything if I put the amount of time in and the work in to try to get the skill.
So it's really been a lifetime of development and
absolutely.
I guess mentors and leaders and coaches throughout your life have just kind of helped you and pushed you in that direction.
Yeah, and my mom and dad, 100%. I think my mom and dad, coaches, and just like my mind, like just me as a kid. No one pushed me to do gymnastics. No one pushed me to go outside in the barn and start skateboarding. No one pushed me to be like the best at the hurdles. My parents weren't the ones to like take me to the extra practice for hurdles. Like they didn't take me to the extra weight training I did for track and field. My coach took me because he was like, you're talented, you're gifted, we should take you. I did it because I love it. I did it because it made me happy. I didn't do it to make anybody else's dreams come true. I made it to make my dreams come true. And why, the parents that think they need to push their kids, those are the kids that give up because they're tired of the push by the parents. They're tired of dad yelling at them for not making a good pass in football. They're tired of mom getting angry because they're not skinny enough for ballet. They're tired of, mom and dad both saying like, you could have done better. My parents never said that to me. They were always proud of me, no matter if I was last or first. And they always knew that I was the hardest person on myself. So it was I just think that when you grow up as a child, if you're not happy doing it, it's probably not going to be in your future for long. So I think that a big part of my mindset is because I'm 100% happy doing what I love to do in that sport.
That is awesome. So gymnastics was your thing, then CrossFit. Is that right?
It was gymnastics, track and field for 6.5 years. I ran the hurdles, 100-meter dash, long jump. I went to state for hurdles. I went to state for the 300 and the 100 hurdles. Believe it or not, I know. Because I stand, everybody that's listening, I stand about 4'10" and a half. But I did podium. I got 4th place in 300s my junior year. And I got 8th place in the 100 hurdles. And I wanted to defy the odds because I knew no short girls have ever made it to state in my division and got like top or made to finals. But I made to there's a semifinals at state and there's a finals. So you have to pass semifinals to make finals at state. And I made finals and I was just so pumped. The final race didn't go so well. I caught my trail leg on one of the hurdles, so it messed up all my steps. And I was so bummed because it was like, I knew I had a shot at like top 5. But it's cool. It's done. It's over with. So I went to track and field. Then I did volleyball. I skateboarded on the side just because my high school boyfriend skateboarded. And actually, a funny story about that. So this kind of shows people my mindset, and this is my drive and my abilities. I never skateboarded. I never stepped on a skateboard. I literally stepped on one when we were dating. And I think we started dating in like April. And I think my mom said, actually April, May, June, May. And I started learning how to ride it, and I rode it, and I could just kind of push around on it. But my mom and dad owned a meat market, used to, and I would go outside when no customers were in the meat market. So I was like the only one working. Mind you, I think I was 15 years old, working the counter like by myself. My mom was gone. And I would take my skateboard outside of the meat market, and I would like try to kickflip. I would try to learn how to ollie. I would try to learn like all these like moves, and I would do it literally until somebody would pull up, and then I'd go wait on it. Then I'd come right back outside and start over.
Yeah.
And that summer, my mom said to my little high school boyfriend, Alyssa and you have to compete. And if Alyssa beats you at the end of the summer, you owe me something. My mom said, like, I forget, like you have to clean the house, or you have to do like something, or like $20. You have to give her $20. Like she just wanted to see if I could beat him in skateboarding. So it's like, you know how you play horse in basketball? You get an H if you miss, and the other person gets to try, blah, blah, blah. It's the game of skate, though. So if you miss, like the person gets to do a trick, and then you get to attempt it. And if you don't make it, then you get an S. So we played a game of skate, and I freaking won it. So we had 2 months to do this, and I won. I was getting skills so fast, but it's because I went out in that barn every day after school and practice for 4 to 5 hours right after school. Like I'd do my homework and then go practice, or I wouldn't do my homework and I'd wait till the morning and then I would do my homework. But I would practice. I would always practice. Everything I do, I give 100% effort to. And if I don't, I do not love it, or I do not enjoy it. And so I don't I don't give it the time of day. I don't start something if I know I'm not going to like it. I always, it's in my life, my boyfriend or my weightlifting, or if I'm doing something, no matter what it is, I am putting 100% effort to it, because that's just the kind of human being I am. I just put my heart into it, heart and soul into it.
Yeah. The word relentless just keeps popping through my mind. I even said it a little while ago, just you seem relentless in what you do, and that's such a great quality. I mean, obviously on the podium. Oh, you're totally fine. What kind of dog do you have?
He's a German Shepherd and Lab.
Oh, we have a German Shepherd Chocolate Lab mix as well.
Oh, do you?
Yeah.
Awesome.
Is he a big dog?
Is he? Can you see him? Can you see him?
Yeah, he's pretty big.
Yeah, he's like 9. I mean, he's like 75 pounds.
Yeah.
So he's like a medium dog.
That's cool. It's interesting because labs aren't huge and German Shepherds aren't huge, but then they get crossed and all of a sudden they're a little bit bigger than their normal breeds.
Yeah. We have a German Shepherd that lives near us, and he plays with him, and they love each other. But anyways, sorry.
No, you're good. That's awesome. Okay. So I loved going off on the mind a little bit, because I think that that's so important in, even just the everyday person that's trying to be healthy and get fit. And that maybe that's something that's missed a little bit. We might just get down on ourselves and say, screw the diet, I'm done. I'm just going to eat crappy because, I had a cookie.
I already messed up.
I already messed up, so I'm done.
I just, my boyfriend broke up with me and I feel like crap.
Yep, exactly. I think we can definitely learn from that. I mean, that's an elite mindset, and you can't mess up because the Olympics is on the line. But for us, maybe, well, our health in the long term is on the fence. But
I would say health in long term is more important than the Olympics, because if people want to like put it into perspective, like when you get like all this disease and all this stuff going on, I mean, we have the most people in the United States, that we have the most obese country. I mean, some of our kids are obese.
Yeah.
And we're doing that to our kids. So I think in the the short term of things, like, why wouldn't you want to feed your kids, your the kids that popped out of you, why wouldn't you want to make them healthy and give them the best possible life ever? Or heck, why wouldn't you want to set an example for your kids to show them that, like, hey, I eat healthy. Why do I eat healthy? Because I feel good.
Yeah.
It's not necessarily about looking good. It's just about feeling good and being healthy, having good organs, like functioning organs, and being able to get up without having stomach aches and going to bed feeling, satisfied, not like over the top full. So I think, like, in that terms of things, we can say that, like, going, like, my lifestyle requires it. Everybody's lifestyle requires it, not just mine.
Yeah.
Mine is something that I'm doing because it's for sport. Like, we're talking like something like my weight cut.
Yeah.
My weight cut at the last 4 hours before competition is required for me. But eating healthy and having a good, proper diet for a person is required for everybody.
Yeah.
It should be.
Yeah.
Because we're just killing ourselves with bad, poor eating choices, or we're not eating, or we are eating too much. We need to, like, be conscious of, like, what that's doing to us.
Yeah. Well, you said you have 8 cups of veggies a day. Is that right?
Yes. Yeah.
So honestly, most people would listen to that and they're like, 8 cups of vegetables? How do you eat 8 cups of vegetables? You weigh 110 pounds.
Vegetables have a lot of fiber in them, so you have to drink a lot of water on top of that to make sure the fiber digests, because fiber does not just come out of your body without water. 8 cups of veggies are like super, like, there's not a lot of calories to them. Like, let's say I have like 8 cups of spinach. I mean, you're talking like maybe 100.
Yeah.
Like 100 calories for the day. If you're talking like more dense veggies, like maybe Brussels sprouts, because Brussels sprouts have a lot of protein per cup, and they have a lot of I think they have like 8 carbs per cup.
Yeah.
Broccoli is a little like in the middle of spinach, and I eat a lot of broccoli. I think that people think it's hard, but it's really not, because I think what happens when you start eating good, you actually enjoy the foods you're eating. Because before, I was eating, like, we're talking like white bread with like 80-20 meat, like ground beef, and like cheddar cheese on top with tons of ketchup, like the whole bottle. And then baked beans on the side and green beans, like baked beans from the can.
Yeah.
Like baked beans, ones that make you fart. No, just kidding. And then like green beans from the can. So, like, my diet's come a long way. I ate like Oreos for like breakfast, lunch, and dinner, but like I'd grab one and eat it for breakfast. I'd grab a few and eat it after lunch. I wouldn't eat like ample amount of protein for the day. I would eat like absolutely no veggies. I would eat a lot of fats and a lot of carbohydrates. So we're talking carbohydrates are like sugars. So bread, fruits, I would eat white potatoes. And like these foods, they're not bad for you, but you have to get the right amount for your body. So like the right amount of calories, or the right amount of protein, the right amount of fat, carbs, veggies for the day. And veggies aren't a macronutrient.
Yeah.
They are a category that I like to remind myself that's important, because there's a lot of micronutrients in them.
Yeah. So you're talking like vitamins, minerals, that sort of thing.
Yeah. So we're talking, all the little stuff that you don't get from other things. Like a cool thing for me was, like, when we were weight cutting, we changed to more red meat.
Yeah.
And that's because there's a lot more like iron in it. And I forget which one it is. Is it vitamin
B12 as well, which is a big one. Yeah.
Yes. Thank you. It's that one. And then on top of that, it just, it has a little more fat to it, but we try to keep the meat lean, 90-10, but still, like, the stuff that I would get from red meat, I couldn't get from chicken. And I couldn't feel the same way. I felt so much more satisfied and satiated after I'd eat like a bison burger.
Yeah.
And then people are like, wait a minute, you did a weight cut and you ate bison burgers every night? What? And I was like, yeah, you have no idea. I
Yeah.
was like, you can eat so much more good food than you think, or you give your, like, just people just don't know. They don't know how to read labels. They don't know what to eat, or they don't think they like it. And it's probably because they're just freaking cooking it wrong. Like, you cook broccoli on the stove and you steam it, it's disgusting. You
Yeah.
put broccoli in the oven with a little olive oil, garlic, salt,
Yeah.
pepper, salt, and onion salt or onion powder.
Yeah.
It's amazing. You roast it. It's like a whole new world. I tried to tell people all the time, like, freaking kids eat this crap. I was like, if kids are eating it, your butt can eat it too.
Exactly.
So, yeah.
No, kind of the old bodybuilding mentality of, hey, I'm going to cut some weight, so chicken and broccoli. It just, it's not near as healthy as red meat and spinach, and, it's okay to have an orange and it's okay to have carrots, and, we want to be getting that micronutrients. And so I think that's awesome. I mean, I've seen into RP quite a bit, into Renaissance, and they just seem super duper dialed. I used to help people a little bit. I'd say, hey, let me kind of set your macros here and there. And now I'm like, hey, you know what? I'm not near as good at this, not even close, as they
Absolutely.
are. So go to them. Or the nutritional advice that I give people is, chew your food 30 times before you swallow and eat mostly real foods, and you'll probably feel a lot better. And then when you want to get more dialed later on, then you can start to think about macros and that sort of thing. But micros are just so important.
Yeah, for sure. I think people just need to realize that, like, I think calories are so important. Just getting the right amount of calories in for your body is super important. I think macros are like, I think like RP has like a triangle pyramid where like its adherence is like first,
Mm-hmm.
and then it's like calories, and then it's like macros, and then it's like timing, and then something else. But like, the point is they're saying, be able to stick to the diet and hold yourself accountable. Do something that can fit into your lifestyle. Like, if you can't eat 6 meals a day, Lord have mercy, just do 3. It's the same thing. You just have to make sure you get the amount of calories in a day.
Yeah. It's a
And I always
single digit percentage difference. Yeah.
say again.
Well, it's just like a single percentage difference, so maybe you're not, if you would time it correctly, maybe it's like a 3% better
Right.
or something. It's not a big deal.
Yeah, it's not. I mean, at the end of the day, like, for an average, everyday, normal person that's just trying to look good or stay healthy, just for crying out loud, just eat good food, choose better options, choose better choices, get rid of things like,
Oreos for breakfast.
Yeah, get rid of Oreos for breakfast, or like cocoa wheats or cocoa puffs. That kind of stuff is just it's just not like fulfilling. It's not satiating, it's not satisfying. Like, if you eat like a bowl of cereal with, you can even give the example of like whey protein. It just goes through your system so fast that it's just like, you don't feel full and you feel hungry after like an hour. If you get rid of the stuff that you just feel like you don't even get fed from it, like things like, I don't know how people do protein bars, because I can't do them. I feel like I eat them and then I'm hungry. It doesn't matter what the calories, what the fats, what the carbs, what the protein is on it. I'm freaking hungry after it.
Yeah.
So I stay away from them. I do real, like when I say real food, I'm talking like I will do chicken with a bunch of vegetables, rice, and avocado. It's more fulfilling. It's more dense. There's more fiber in it, so it's going to take longer to digest. It's just going to make me overall more happy. And especially vegetables. I tell you what, man, before I started my diet for RP, I literally would never eat vegetables. And once I started with RP, now, after 2.5 years of doing it, actually, 2.5 years? Yes, after 2.5 years, it'll be 3 years this September. after doing it, I literally have to get my vegetables in to make me satisfied. Like if I don't get my vegetables in, I feel like I have missed out on a very amazing opportunity. Like, when people post their highlight reels on Instagram, like I feel like I'm missing out. Like I'm like, oh man, she got that broccoli today and I didn't. I'm like so bummed about it. It's like missing out on like a cheat meal or dessert or something. It just makes you feel so much better.
Yeah. But if you had never adhered to it, like that first tier that they talk about, you wouldn't even know that.
No,
So
I gave it a chance. I just kept trying and trying. I just kept trying different things. And that's where my mindset also comes into play. I never give up. I keep trying. If something didn't work for me, I kept trying to change it. The problem with our society today is we just want it to work right away. And we
now,
want to see results now.
yeah.
Nobody wants to put the work in. Nobody wants to put the time in. They just want the results. They want to look like you. They want to have those lean, big biceps, big, thick legs, but nobody wants to do the work to get it. The problem is like when you start a diet, it takes a year to just figure it out just a small bit, like figure out like how to weigh your food, how to pack your food, what you enjoy to eat from day to day, what makes you feel better and what makes you feel like crap, what you like more, what you don't like, how to cook your veggies and how not to cook them. It took me probably a year and a half to fully understand how to do RP. And now 2.5 years into it, I can tell you that I am pretty freaking good at it. I could work for RP and nobody would know if I was a dietitian or not a dietitian. Yeah. I think like the only thing I would lack is like the absolute, and I know like people like hate when people say this. People, if they don't have like certification or a degree or whatever. I mean, I have an exercise science degree. I also was working on like getting my ISSN, like a nutrition, I can't think what it's called. Basically a certification, but it's like one you can only take if you have a bachelor's.
Yeah.
But I mean, obviously I would lead somebody to a sports nutritionist or a nutritionist in general, but I could definitely like tell you everything and how to do it just because of my experience doing it.
Yeah. Which experience goes a long ways. I mean,
absolutely.
Because I'm the same. Like if someone has an issue, then hey, there are professionals out there that have dedicated their life to, talking to people about nutrition.
Yeah.
By talking to someone and saying, hey, let's eat more vegetables, let's add some natural proteins, let's chew your food and sleep enough, that's okay. Like I don't feel like you have to have a doctorate to do that. So
no, and it's like basic logical common sense, right? Like if you break your arm, you know to go to the emergency room. You're not trying to go and do your own surgery and stuff.
yeah.
Like you're leading them to the next best option. So it's just like that. I'm just helping people try to get that adherence, try to get those right calories and try to get the right macros.
Yeah.
And the rest of the science stuff, leave that up to the professionals because they're the ones who know. Do I know a little bit? Yes, absolutely.
Yeah.
I know what the energy systems are and what I need and why I need it and what breaks down if I don't get it and what, some of the biological stuff that like happens in the body.
Yeah.
But we're not talking like the Krebs cycle and
Yeah.
glycolysis. Like
Yeah.
Alyssa still needs to tap in on that stuff and relearn. But so that's why I always say like go to a dietitian, and I have a dietitian. Like I don't do my own diet. She literally sets my macros and builds my template, and I follow it. I don't literally don't really ask for help. I gauge my weight. Like, hey, Megan, I'm like, I've been gaining a lot of weight on this template. It's not good. It can't be this heavy for my sport. Like, I need to be lighter. She's like, okay. So she switches it up. And I'm like, hey, Megan, that was way too much of a switch. Like, you need to go and like between this template and in between this template and make a different one. So, yeah.
Awesome. So switching gears a little bit to training.
Yep.
What does your training look like?
I train about I want to say anywhere from 24 to 27 hours a week. Um, my probably last week leading up is my shortest week because we're working on trying to get more powerful versus strong. The hardest training weeks are probably my first, in like, let's say a 16-week training cycle. My hardest weeks are probably, let's see, 14 weeks, all 14 weeks. And then the last 2 weeks are probably a little, well, no. Yeah, probably 2 weeks out of competition are my easier ones. Usually my body starts to like yell at me probably 2 weeks out. It's like during this last Pan Am's, a week, 2 weeks out, my body started kind of breaking down. I started feeling like crap. I started hurting. I started getting really cranky. But that's when like the weight cut gets like
Yeah.
really real.
So
And
is your training volume up then as well?
yes. So my training, well, okay. So it's really hard to think about volume and intensity in the sport of weightlifting because it
Yeah.
kind of could be the same thing. So my weights are really heavy.
Okay.
And I guess, yes. So volume is high. So that would be my weights. The intensity is low. So the amount of reps and sets I do are lower.
Okay.
So
But
like,
you're also eating less calories.
yeah, I'm also eating less calories, but I'm also trying to get more powerful.
Yeah.
I'm trying to get faster. I'm trying to get speed. I'm not trying to get like strong and slow. We
Yeah.
want to start making if the reps and sets come down, that means my body can heal faster and it doesn't have so much load on it. It can start working faster and start becoming more powerful.
Yeah. So your training also has to be extremely consistent. So as far as, nutrition has to be consistent, not just for you, but for everybody.
With nutrition real quick, I do have a cheat meal every week, but the cheat meal stops 6 weeks out.
Okay, cool.
So I just want everyone to know that I am human. I do mess up.
Yeah.
So I don't think I'm perfect.
That's awesome.
I'm far from perfect.
What's your
I've had a
favorite?
cheat meal every day this week. Just let everyone know.
What's your favorite cheat meal?
Burger, sweet potato fries, and broccoli. And then I love Cold Stone cake batter with brownie mixed in.
Cake batter with brownie.
Oh, cake batter with their brownie is like unstoppable. I could eat like the Gotta Have It, which is the largest one.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, it's so good. It's stupid good. But then I also like myself a piece of cake or a freshly baked chocolate chip cookie.
So I've heard the body can only process so many carbs at a time. So if you eat those all at the same time, it's almost like it didn't even happen. No, I'm just kidding.
I was like, I don't know what body you're living.
You're definitely not a nutritionist, Tyler.
I might be vomiting, but
no, that's awesome. Well, minus the Cold Stone and the cake, that's not even that bad anyways. Like,
no. So like my cheat meals, I have a very sensitive stomach. So when I eat things like pork, I ate the other day, I ate some pulled pork and brisket and it was so good.
Yeah.
And I had some barbecue sauce and I think all the sugar from the barbecue sauce. And I don't think it really had a lot to do with the meat, but I think pork doesn't do it. Like it like settles wrong in my stomach. So I wake up like this horrendous stomach ache where it feels like you're like just coming off of like a sickness or for girls' sake, you're just coming off of a period because it's like it hurts your stomach. So I don't like feeling like that. So I try to pick like 2 burgers. I'll have 2 bison burgers with like 1 bun. So I'll have like a double cheeseburger. Or I'll have like more sweet potatoes, or I'll have sweet potatoes and a burger. So I'll have like volume of food is more my concern for a cheat meal versus going out to a restaurant and getting like a fried chicken sandwich.
Yeah.
Or it doesn't set with me. So I don't enjoy the time I'm sleeping. I like to sleep well. I don't like to feel like crap. So I try to choose more I just like it. I like to eat healthy. I'm sorry. I know everybody out there thinks that I'm saying this right now.
I
I
just
like
like
to
to eat
drink
healthy.
healthy.
No, that's
Oh,
good. Do you feel like in eating healthy over the last 2.5 years, following the RP and being strict or, strictish, do you feel like that has made it so when you eat crappy food, you can tell that it's crappy?
yes, absolutely. Make sure you just feel like crap
Yeah.
because you've been doing so good. I think your microbiome changes in your stomach. So I think that like I was lactose intolerant. Now I'm not. I was really sensitive to gluten and now I'm not. After the diet, it's like changed my microbiome completely. I feel a lot crappier when I eat crappy foods like fried foods and pork. And if I overload like fats or overload carbs, I feel like, ugh, I'm just too much food.
Yeah.
Uh, so yeah.
And so when you say microbiome, like people who are listening, it's just kind of like our gut has its own little ecosystem in it. And throughout time when we're eating crappy foods and we're stressed and we're not sleeping well, not great bacteria can grow, and like the environment of our gut is just
Yes.
poor. It's
Yes.
like a polluted city. But then if you let that city overgrow with like trees and now there's oxygen and um, photosynthesis and stuff happening, then all of a sudden it's like a healthy ecosystem again.
Right.
So you're saying by eating the vegetables and the more natural foods and the natural proteins and all of that, your stomach's actually able to heal itself and you just feel
Absolutely.
a lot better.
100%. Yeah, my gut health is just 100% better. And I think that there's a lot more research coming out. Like Dr. Rhonda Patrick, she's awesome. Follow My Fitness is her podcast. And she's so intelligent. You can't really understand a lot of the stuff she's saying because she's so intelligent. It is just out of your, it's just blows your mind what she says. But it's super cool because it's like, she talks about like a lot of the stuff in gut health, especially now. And I love listening to her. I also like, I think it's Lane Norton. I enjoy listening to him. He's really good too. He's very sarcastic and I like that. He also hates people that are not like dietitians or nutritionists and they try to give you advice. But like try to take your money and stuff or charge you a lot and they're not doing anything for you, which I totally agree with.
Absolutely.
So yeah, so those are some good people to follow on that, like gut health and stuff.
Yeah, it's interesting stuff because it's definitely like an emerging science. We've kind of known it for a while, but it's still so hard to research because it's like a whole nother universe.
Right.
So cool stuff.
Yeah.
Well, I don't want to take your time, and it's been about an hour. I mean, I did want to take some of your time. I didn't want to take too much of your time.
If you have any other questions, you're more than welcome to answer them. I have about like, I gotta probably go around like 3:05-ish. Because I gotta go to the gym. I still gotta work out.
Oh yeah. So do you do 2 days then?
Not right now.
Not right now.
It's like I usually take the like if there's a lot of time between my meets, I usually take a good 3 weeks to recover and do corrective exercising, do a lot of PT and make sure my body's well rested. I also put the body weight scale away and I don't weigh myself. I just never weigh myself because it's not important to me. I don't care. But the closer my meets do get, I do take that back out just to gauge where I'm at. I don't want to get too heavy because that's really hard to cut from that.
Yeah.
But
that's where I'm at right now.
Yeah, you're getting too heavy. Just gotta get back on track. Get back on that wagon. Don't get off.
It's good.
Good. Yeah. So I usually do 2 days. Before Pan Ams, I was doing Monday, Wednesday, Friday 2-a-days, and then I was completely off on Thursday and completely off on Sunday. My Tuesdays are light, and my Saturday are medium, light medium, like probably 3 exercises, 4 sets of those exercises, anywhere from 2 to 4 reps, like a squat, a jerk, and a snatch, stuff like that. So, yeah.
So if you were to recommend just to people out there that want to get fit and healthy, the first thing or even place that they could go to just, maybe let's just have an avatar. Let's say it's a 40-year-old that just feels like they've kind of let themselves go for the last 40 years.
Oh no.
Where would they go to just get started? And it doesn't have to be like a physical place, or it doesn't have to be RP or whatever. Just what can they do? How can someone just start to get healthy now?
I mean, literally you can like find anything on the internet these days. Like you can go to YouTube and just look up something like, oh, I want to do some butt exercises, oh, here's an Instagram girl do some butt exercises, like you can find all that stuff. How credible it'll be, probably not the best. I would just find find a local gym in your area, whether it's CrossFit or you go and do private sessions with someone just for working out, or you go and do like yoga or something. Just get some activity, at least 30 minutes of activity every day. Whether it's like a fast walk or something, just start doing something. Then over time, just build up on it and try to get better at it. You don't have to go like full blown, try to like do 2 a days like I do. Just 30 minutes to an hour of like good high intense, get your heart rate up. That's great. As for diet, just try to choose better options. Try to choose better options and get rid of the stuff that you don't want to eat that's in your house. Like get rid of the cookies and get rid of that stuff. Like I know if you have kids, it's hard. But you know what? As a kid, my mom and dad didn't let me eat cookies all the time. They yelled at me if I ate cookies. I stole them out of the cupboard and ate them. But that's besides the point. So yeah, just like try baby steps before you try to make these like grand plans and try to dive in deep. Baby steps.
I like that. Because baby steps are sustainable.
Yes. Baby steps are better for people. I mean, maybe try to eat good 3 times a week. Maybe get rid of the Diet Coke. Maybe get rid of the heaping load of mayonnaise you put on your sandwich. Maybe try, instead of turkey lunch meat, try actual real turkey. Leaner meats, try to switch to 90-10 meats, like just things like that.
That's cool. I really like that. So I could probably ask you questions for hours just because I maybe a little nerdy like that. But
don't worry, I'm starting a podcast. So
good.
Yeah.
That's awesome. Have you started it yet? Like, have you gotten into that at all yet?
Okay. So I just got the microphone and I got a new laptop because my laptop's like 10 years old. And so I finally got that. And then I realized Apple loves to make people purchase as many accessories as possible, even though I like them. I don't have a port. I don't have a USB port in my computer anymore.
Yeah.
Now I need a port system that I have to buy. And so I just bought that today to plug that in, to plug my microphone in. And I'm like
the lightning to USB. Is that what it is? The lightning to USB.
Yeah. It's like, anyway. So, I have to wait for that. So I'm trying to there's going to be one up this week for sure.
Cool.
And it's probably either going to be me and Max talking about just me and Max being me and Max, talking about the training, talking about Pan Ams, talking about the weight cut, and talking about the back room. Before I started competing, my warm-ups in the back room, stuff like that. Or it's going to just be me talking about my full-fledged experience of Pan Ams, from training to weight cut to mindset. But I don't want to do too many in one, because there's so many. I have literally wrote down this many topics, 12 topics that I could talk about, but I want to make them short 15-20 minute.
That's cool. Because that's something.
Hours can be a little too much for me, and it can just not be super interesting. So anyways, but that's what I'm going to do. I'm going to start that. And I think it'll be cool. I want to interview my dad.
Yeah.
And
I saw his impression of you.
Yes, it's very good.
That was awesome. Which actually is one thing I really appreciate about your social media is you show people your emotion. And I like that. Because obviously you've put your entire life now into Olympic weightlifting, and when you make that lift and you show yourself getting excited and crying over it, that's real life. That's awesome. That's amazing. You care so much about it that you're okay sharing that.
Yeah, it's totally real. I could never fake that.
Yeah. And it's cool that your dad can make fun of it and you're cool with it.
Oh, yeah. I mean, that's my family. He's always like, Liz, you could have done better. You could have been first. And I'm like, I was first. And then he's like, you could have got extra credit. I'm like
What
do
do
you
6 pounds over the record or whatever. So
he doesn't even know. So I just let him go. I do me, he can do him, and we're good. He's an awesome dad, though.
Yeah.
I'm very happy to have you in my life.
That's cool. Well, Alyssa, I really appreciate your time. I just think that, different people that come on, they resonate different with different people. And I would definitely recommend to anybody to go to your social media and check it out and follow you. And it's been fun to just see you go to different competitions. And like I said, your emotion and just what you do, it's cool. It's amazing. And I think we can all learn something from it. So I just appreciate you coming on and talking to us a little bit more about it.
Thank you for having me. Seriously. It was awesome. Yeah.
Well, if you'd like to again sometime, maybe we can dive a little bit deeper and do this again.
For sure.
But good luck in everything. I hope that the Olympics happen for you.
Oh, they will. I'll make them.
They will. That's awesome. Cool. Okay. Well, thank you, Alyssa, and we'll talk to you soon.
All right. Thank you.
Thanks.